why does shachafas and kadachas and machlas onayim, right? So he says there's different type of klalos that the ikar problem they had was they didn't learn Torah with amal, right?
Right.
So he says HaTorah nimshal le'esh, dichsiv kol devari esh. Okay. So what happens is that the Torah, what it does is it refines you. It teaches you that the lower part of yourself should change and grow and become more like the higher part of yourself, right? So, the second is that in order for us to be masig the aura of the end of the end of times in Olam Haba, right? In order for them to lehenas miziva shchina, so then to whatever degree that our eyes are able to see Hashem, that's what the degree will be lehenot. So the Torah teaches your eyes how to be developed spiritual, appreciating spiritual concept. Right? And the third thing is that Torah makes a person mesamche lev. Okay? So then, in order to teach those three midos, so he says, Kadashas is Eish, not of Kedusha. In other words, he's teaching you that your body needs to be on fire. It needs fire. It needs fire to live. So either it'll generate the fire from a place that is harmful, it'll generate the fire from experiencing the fire of Hashem. In other words, I guess what he's saying is that the people who are bo'er b'libam to do something, right? If they don't have that come from a refined place, the type of fire that they have inside themselves will actually make them into a sick place, a driven place that's not healthy for themselves. You have to wonder from this is if when a person has fever, how much is pent up energy that's meant to go to a good place that was stuck inside of it.
And then you just burst out until you're not feeling well.
Mm-hmm. Then he says, also the same thing, that a person who is in kadachas, 1 second. Right, that's what we said. Bahala is the opposite of a person he really can work things out and he has to push really, really hard to actually get clarity. So that's the midah of Meilus HaTorah. Okay? Then he says, Keneged ma'orinayim machlesinayim, Keneged simchas halev daven nafesh. Right? So he's saying that there's an opportunity for a person to really enjoy life, to really feel the netina of Hashem's pleasure in the fact that he gives you all kinds of great hasagot every single day, right? So he wants to, if you say, no, I don't want you in my life, I don't want to have the pleasures you give me. So what naturally happens is the opposite comes into play, where people are having a life where they feel the whole time, wait, there's something missing. There's something that I'm missing. It's like if you deny a person of pleasure, they'll always be running after pleasure, right? So if you deny the spiritual part of yourself, the experience of Lenas Miziv Shchinaso, what you're creating is an energy of like, wait, there's something missing, right? So how does that express itself in the physical form? If there's a machala, which is like, wait, there's something missing called refuah is missing, right? But the point is to engineer that midah inside of yourself, to listen to yourself, to not be cut off from yourself, which is telling you there's something missing. So in order to encourage that way of being, Hashem made a disease, right, which will, by actually do that. It's like, wait, it's not right, there's something missing. Make sense? And the last thing he's saying is medifas nefesh, that the situation will bring you to a place of depression, right? Medifas nefesh is a depressive state, because there's a way a person has a netiya to be in a bad space. There's actually a part of the human being which is called mara shchoira, which actually pushes a person there. And Hashem gave a trufa called misamche lev. The ideas, the morals, the ideas, the concepts, the beauty of Torah will give you this pleasure. So when a person doesn't have that beauty in their life, then what replaces it is this experience of depression. So, and because they spiritually don't have the simcha, their neshama and their higher part is like depressed. So the lower part has to be mishakef that through a physical expression. Yesterday I was talking to a person who had a bad dream, and the dream was, someone coming to them in a dream and hurting them in the dream. Right? It was a dream. No one really came to them, but they had blood. Their body reacted to the head experience because the body was showing where the person was holding. So a body doesn't have to be, we look at things, we say there's chaydakim. That's true. But why are there chaydakim?
Probably because you left stuff outside and they have what to eat.
Could be. You could make mistakes, but oftentimes a person doesn't act stupidly. The reason why there's germs is because the body can't fight them off.
Right.
So that means the body is holding in a place where it's matim to show you where you're holding spiritually, that I shouldn't be able to fight off negative feelings. Why? Because here is this method of filling you full of simcha. You're not doing it, so a body doesn't nourish with simcha that it needs. A soul is not nourished with simcha that it needs. Will affect itself on the body that this life lacks simcha. Right? So basically, the Ohr HaChaim is teaching us that all of these diseases are a natural derivative if we take what Hashem is offering us, which is tishma'uli. Listen to me, have an experience with me, the Torah that I'm putting into the world, and your body will represent the missing element in your life that produces clarity, right? The opportunity of clarity, the opportunity of passion, of being driven by something. There's the fire burning within you, happiness, right? What do you call it? Satisfaction, right? Not being depressed and not thinking something's missing. That's the potential what Hashem put into the world when a person can learn Torah. And if they're saying I don't want it, the body's going to produce the reflection of that experience and showing you this is where we're really holding. And that Yisurim will push the person to have the same midos on a spiritual level, start searching, start looking, start wanting to be happy, start wanting to have clarity, right? And then they'll end up finding it in the Torah they were missing.
Right.
This is what means Mida Keneged Mida. The Yisurim push you to do the tikkun that was missing in your midos. Good? Clear? You still have the same negative issue with the Yisurim as you had before?
No, I understand it. I understand the concept.
You know what it's like? A worker is working for a job and slacking off, not doing a good job. So the boss comes and says, listen, for the amount of work you're doing, you only deserve this pay. I'm not willing to pay you more. He's all upset, like, If he wouldn't take responsibility, it's like, I did this to myself. Okay, let's fix it. So the switch that we need to make when anything bad happens to us, it's not, and I'm not saying blaming God, because he's like, I don't do this world. You're making this world. I give you all the options, but you decide which one expresses itself. So don't blame me, blame yourself. Don't freak out. There's nothing to freak out about. This is just where you're holding. It's showing you where you're holding and to push you to the power place. So go do it. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'd like to take a 3-minute break, and then we'll go to tefillin.